You ever notice how certain clients only show up when you're struggling? When business slows down, when the bills start piling, when your confidence slips just a little bit? That's when these people seem to find you. They don't come for your talent, they come for your hunger. Because out here in this freelance jungle, it's like they smell desperation and the vultures start to circle. Let me paint a picture for you real quick. So today, imagine we're walking through a jungle, and I'm using this jungle as a reference to make it easy for you to envision what I'm talking about. So look, picture yourself moving through like vines, tired, low on energy. You haven't eaten in days. No solid leads, no new projects. Then you spot something that looks like food. It's a client saying, hey, quick project, small budget, but it could lead to more. You take it because you're starving. That's when the first vulture swoops down. They don't attack the strong. They wait till you're weak, till your confidence is dropped, just enough that you'll settle finally. And every time you say yes out of fear, you give them another reason to circle closer. Now, in this jungle, vultures are smart. They don't roar, they don't make a bunch of noise like other birds, they whisper. They perch close and they really sound friendly at first. They'll tell you your work is amazing, that they wish they could pay you more, that this is just a little gig, but of course, there's gonna be a lot more. And because you've been walking so long without a meal, you think, finally, something is working out for me. But what you don't see is the trap. Take it from me. That's when they start pecking. Can you tweak this? Can you add that? Until you've done like double the work for half the food. And by the time you notice, you're surrounded by vultures. And that's how they operate. Slow, polite, and eventually draining. See, animals in the wild can sense weakness before you even say a word. And clients are the same. They hear it in your tone when you lower your price just a little too fast. They see it when you reply instantly at midnight. That's something that a lot of us been through. That one, yeah, we've been there. I've been there. They feel it when you sound too thankful instead of assured. Now, this is an important one. This is like, honestly, something that I gotta say, I've been a victimhood of overly gratefulness. Around New Year's Eve, you think you could text your client, hey, Happy New Year, I'm glad to be, working at your company. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And they respond with just like a little like of your text or something like that. And it's like, damn, bro. All right, cool. Say no more. And not too long after that, you see what happens next. But check this out. Back to the jungle. Imagine limping through the jungle with a small cut. You don't really see it, but the scent travels low-key. That's what desperation really does. See, once they smell it, the vultures, that is, or clients, these vulture clients, they don't see a professional, they see lunch. So let me set a real example. Let me give you a picture right here. Let's say you take on a low-paying gig because rent is coming up, and they quote-unquote approve you real fast, no hesitation. You think you caught a break. Day 2, they're messaging late. Hey, can you just make a small change? Which, okay, that's normal, but that could kind of get out of hand with the wrong people behind it. Day 3, quick update. Should only take 1 second. They never told you about this update before. They threw that in there. Day 5, radio silence when it's time to pay. And you're sitting there in the middle of the jungle, surrounded by feathers and bones, realizing you just became the meal. That's not just business. That's what happens when you let hunger speak louder than your self-respect. Just being honest. So, here's how you survive out here in the freelance world or freelance jungle. You gotta learn to mask your scent. That means no panic in your voice, no chasing gigs like you're running through the underbrush or something like that. Like you can't be begging to be found. You gotta move quiet, move certain, be sure of yourself, even if you don't really feel it in your heart. You gotta find a way to get that through your gut and feel it. You tell a client, my rate is X. You pause. Don't sit there and try to justify it. I used to do that. You gotta understand, that price though, it does cover shooting and editing. Yeah, I'm so glad I learned from those days. If you require a deposit, that's what it is. You don't gotta explain why. You walk with the same calm rhythm as like a hunter who's already out and knows exactly where the food is. Confidence is your camouflage. It hides the smell of desperation. But you really gotta get the desperation out of your heart, and that's another topic. But yeah, confidence is your camouflage. Now, after a while, you'll stop sprinting through the trees and you'll start watching patterns. The way certain clients circle, the way others fly clean and honest. You notice who respects your, like, you'll know who respects you overall. I feel like a lot of people show who they are right away. It's like human instinct or human nature. Like right away you could kind of tell who respects you. And if you don't, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say you do have good judge of character, but maybe you're just distracted by the work. Anyway, when you finally start saying no to the wrong ones, you see what happens. I mean, look, the jungle gets quieter. The good clients, the real ones, they start showing up because they sense that you stop bleeding. You start attracting the clients you deserve. It's not all the time. It's not guaranteed. This is still business. You can never control everybody, but you can really start weeding most of the bad ones out. So when it comes to the bad clients, you know, here's the main lesson. I've been that freelancer wandering through this place, like tired, anxious, hoping somebody would see my worth. But the truth is, every time I took less than I deserved, I taught the vultures exactly where to feed. You don't beat them by fighting them. You beat them by healing the part of you that keeps attracting them. That cut that you didn't notice but they could smell. Once you feed yourself the structure, confidence, patience, that's when the vultures lose interest. And you gotta feed yourself that structure till it is beating your head. Like you gotta really consume that and become that. It all leads back to confidence. Because in this jungle of freelancing, the vultures only circle what looks like half alive. Just alive enough that it's food for them. Well, I guess that's not a good analogy because they could probably even eat you when you die, but you get the point. They know exactly when to circle around those vultures. And it's only on you and your responsibility to stand up for yourself. And you owe it to yourself, your family, whoever, your employees, whoever. So stand up straight, clean your wounds, and walk like you own the ground you're standing on in the jungle. That's how you survive out there. That's how you win. That's how you win at the freelance jungle game. Now look, I had to use that as a little analogy. You get the point. So at the end of the day, next time you feel a vulture kind of circling over you, think about that small cut that you might have ignored or you haven't really looked into. Clean it up and stand on business. I'll see you on the next one.